Hello there, I'm Lady Loy, and I'm really excited because I'm having one of my poems set to dub by the illustrious musician Jerry Harris. And so the poem that he has set to dub, it's going to be released early next month, is called Cyan Tan Englan. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to recite it, and then hopefully you'll be excited to either stream it or buy it. I'm not quite sure how it all works yet. It's just being registered at the moment. So yes, let me just tell you a little bit about it though. So I am promoting the release of my poem, which is being set against a dub track, Cyan Tan Englan. It was written in the 1980s to demonstrate frustration, resilience and humour all at once. The narrator, who is me, is talking about a member of the Windrush family who bemoans her trials in front of two passengers on a bus who misunderstand her. The poem is divided into the Queen's English, Jamaican patois and Cockney. Each voice brings its own history, rhythm and assumptions. The Windrush lady is expressing herself in patois, carrying all the emotions and lived experience of someone who's given decades to Britain. The two white passengers hear bits and pieces, interpret them through their own lens, and then respond in their indigenous language, which happens to be Cockney. Meanwhile, the narration in Queen's English acts like the observer, helping the audience move between the worlds. We have to admit that Britain has always been multilingual, not just in different languages, but in different Englishes. 3 versions of English, 3 cultures, 3 perspectives, 1 bus. It can almost become a metaphor for Britain. I have chosen language as a dramatic device. The poem operates on 2 levels. 1 level, it sounds funny. Lord, me can't tan it in England. We've all overheard snippets of conversations and jumped to the wrong conclusion. And on another level, it's a commentary about how people often hear the accent before hearing the individual. The woman soliloquizing is carrying decades of experience, migration, sacrifice, disappointment, endurance, and the passengers only hear fragments. They fill the gaps with their own assumptions. So I've lived inside the Windrush experience. I have lived through social change rather than merely reading about it and watching videos on it. So when Jerry Harris, songwriter, musician, guitarist, approached me about putting my poetry to dub, I jumped at the opportunity. I imagine the dub format working beautifully because dub creates space. It doesn't rush the words, it allows listeners to sit with a line before the next one arrives. I like to think of my poetry as sitting at the intersection of storytelling, social observation and conversation. I'm not simply reciting poetry, I'm inviting people to listen differently. I understand why Jerry Harris wanted to put it over dub. Dub leaves room for voices to converse with one another. The echo catches a patois phrase, the bass drops under the Cockney retort, and then a pause just before the narrator steps back in. It's almost cinematic. Most writers would tell the audience these people don't understand each other, but I have allowed the way they speak to create the misunderstanding, which avoids making anyone the villain. So the Cockney passengers are interpreting events through their lens, through their own experience. Likewise, the Windrush lady is expressing herself in the language that best carries her emotions. The bus is one of the few places where Britain really does mix. People of different ages, backgrounds, accents, cultures share the same small space. It's an ordinary setting, but it becomes a stage where assumptions, humour and humanity play out. The title may make people think they're about to hear a humorous dub track. The bus conversation may make them laugh, but underneath it becomes something much bigger. What it feels like to belong to a generation that helped build modern Britain, while sometimes still feeling unheard or misunderstood. Lord, me can't tan it in England. Boarding the bus the other day, a burly black woman blocked my way. Wobbling into an already delegated seat, she planted her load between two white ladies' feet. She snarled and then snorted as if ready to bore into the two women sitting each side of her. Just as the bus started pulling off, out of the mouth emanated a laugh. She then started to wheeze, and on blowing her nose, she nervously bawled out the tales of her woes. Lord, me can't tan it in England. This country a go bring me down. Me want to go back to me country, but not even a penny me own. Me say me can't tan it in England. Is where who no get this weather from. It kill off me husband and me one girl child and leave me with no one figure reconcile. Them do autopsy pa me one pickney and certify it as cut debt. But me no say not knock us so. A the cold weather take a last breath. The same way it lick up me husband Claude. He would be alive now if him did back a yard. But him come way from Jamaica for come here. Think say life would be better. But life no better. It was. And that is why me have a curse. Them cut off me electricity this morning without so much as a warning. Them make police come for arrest me because them say the rent don't pay. No wonder them say me a turn mad because the people them treat me so bad. The tremor in her voice caused a sandwich to fumble, but the sizzling filling continued her grumble. Why me can't tan it in England? Me want to go back to me people them. The two women limped away from her side, obviously deciding to discontinue their ride. While they were waiting to dismount the bus, I overheard their conversation. Was she on about us? Yeah, said the other. Ungrateful blacks. They come over here without clothes on their backs, using our social security to live a life of luxury, and most of them fill up our council flats. The government don't care about the likes of you and me. Us whites are the proper beneficiaries. I know most of them live off of the dole. They ain't interested in working or playing their role. They go on complaining. It gets on me nerves. Have you heard about this discrimination thing? I think it's absurd. No more bar, black sheep or gollywogs on jam because these foreigners call it discrimination. Have you ever heard such a loader? They make their beds, they should lie in it, not come over here to complain about our weather. What's a bit of rain? You know what I think the government should do? Send them monkeys back to the zoo. I sat back and shook my head. She hadn't understood a word she'd said. They translated her disorientation as an attack on their country, and so they fought back with vicious words and an unrelenting heart. That avenging scourge that permeates that part of our people, making them understand that their contribution to the economy has meant nothing to man. Now, if you got this far, I do hope you look out for the poem Cyan Tan in Englan. Music is by Jerry Harris. And I'm the writer and the composer. I'm the writer. I'm Myrna Loy. So yes, I'm excited. I won't be able to play it on TikTok, of course, because I think you have to sign it up or do something. But yeah, I am quite excited. But I am going to play it on my radio station, Lovers Rock Radio, 7 till 9 on a Friday, and Gold Standard Radio, 7 till 9 on a Saturday. So I can't tell you what part of the show I'm going to play it on. Probably the early part, because on Fridays it's nostalgic vibes. And I guess you could say that the Windrush is nostalgic. So it might fit in. Yeah, it'll probably fit in at the beginning. So if you log in around 7, you should be able to hear it. So let me have your comments, what you think of the poem, whether it's something you'd like to listen to. And I bet you can't wait to hear it to dub music. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a wonderful evening. If you can't take care of yourself, please take care of each other. And that's all for now. Bye bye.